Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daybreak. I'm your host, Nicholas Sadowski. We have a great show today, two great guests. And if you've watched Daybreak in the past, you might recognize them. They're a familiar pair. But without further ado, thank you for watching Daybreak. I say this every time, but it is a very fun theme song. So, before I get into the guests, just a few announcements and things. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go do so. Daybreak: starring Nicholas Sadowski. I think we have about 30 subscribers. All these episodes are obviously going to be put on. The past ones are not, so if you want to watch those, you have to go to here. But so we've got two great guests, one from Dover, Massachusetts, one from Sherborn, Massachusetts, and this pair was actually in episode 3, or if you want to consider the first two one episode, episode 2. It's just a flipped order instead. So instead of doing the second guest first, it's the other way around. So please welcome my first guest, who is an incredibly talented saxophonist and pianist who has played in many, many concerts, including Carnegie Hall in New York City. Please welcome the wonderful, fantastic, the great Connor Wong. Hello, Connor.
Hello.
So, how are you doing?
Fine.
You healthy, not sick or anything? Everything good? Awesome. So this episode is going to be a split interview. We're going to do one topic for the first 10 and then another topic for the last 10. So, first topic is the saxophone. I know that you are fantastic at playing the saxophone. I've heard you play the saxophone. You're absolutely amazing. So what got you drawn to saxophone in the first place?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question because I was in 5th grade. I think I was going into 5th grade, and then my mom had me listen to all these instruments to choose one to play, and I thought the saxophone sounded the best.
Did you try any instruments before that, or did you just start playing them?
Well, I played a lot of instruments. I played the clarinet, and I still do, and then I played a lot of other instruments as well.
So you haven't always done the sax, but when you were going through different instruments, were you thinking of the sax? Was that something you wanted to go to? Did you try the clarinet to see what it's like to hold something like that? What made you switch to the saxophone? Actually, I like this way more than all the other instruments, so I'm gonna keep with this one.
Well, I started off with the clarinet in 4th grade because that's when you're supposed to play it. That's when the school kind of made us choose an instrument.
Oh, okay.
And I liked the clarinet the most. And then I moved on to the saxophone because there's a lot more you can do with the saxophone than the clarinet.
Right. So the school made you pick an instrument, so you chose the clarinet. Does that mean that you were in the band at the school?
Yeah.
And I know that in middle school you were in the band and the jazz band. Was there a jazz band in 4th grade or 5th grade or whenever you started?
Yeah, there was.
Were you in that one?
Yeah.
Was there auditions for that? Because I know at Normal High School you have to audition to be in the jazz thing just to make sure that you can actually play well with the other groups, because in my opinion, every time you have a concert, it sounds great. And from my experience at DS, in the middle school, there wasn't an audition. You just had to be in the regular band. So in the high school, do you have to audition to be in the band? How does that work?
Yeah, in the high school you have to audition, but they're not very strict about the auditions. It's basically whoever auditions, and if you're not a percussion, you're fine.
Huh. How many saxophones do you have in your band?
Well, 3, but Logan doesn't show up ever, so.
All right, so you got Logan, you got you, this other guy, and Owen Comiskey. Owen Comiskey isn't there, right? Does he play the trombone?
Yeah.
still. We actually have Owen Comiskey on next. But when you're in the band, and since Logan doesn't show up all the time, does the sheet music that you have differ from the sheet music that the other saxophone players have, where you're just playing the same thing just to give more power when you play?
Well, yeah, I have like the alto one and they have the alto two.
What's the difference between those?
So I have like the melody and they have the harmony basically.
Oh, okay. Do any other instruments try to harmonize with you? Does the clarinet ever do it? And
Um,
yeah, sorry.
I think for every instrument there's a one and two, or like most of them.
And so you play, what saxophone do you play?
Alto, soprano. I mean, I know how to play the other two, but I prefer the alto and the soprano.
Which do you play in your band class?
Alto and soprano.
Oh, you do them both. Okay. Which one do you play more?
Alto probably.
Is there a reason why you like playing the alto more? Is it just what they tell you to play? Why do you play the alto more?
There's more songs that are written for the alto. Like the soprano's kind of like irrelevant in most cases.
Um, so for non-musicians, what is a melody and a harmony? Question from the audience.
Um, the melody is basically like the main like tune. It's like basically like when you're listening to a song, it's like the thing that you hear that like makes you recognize the song. And then the harmony is basically what goes along with the song to make like the song sound better.
So, like for example, would the melody be like where the lyrics are, what the person's singing at? Is that the melody? Yeah. And the harmony just goes along with it, so it basically complements that. Was the saxophone?
Sorry, someone was spam calling me. Hold on. What'd you say?
Was the saxophone difficult to learn? Like, what's the learning curve of that?
I mean, I knew the clarinet, so like the saxophone wasn't very hard.
So another question from the audience, have you ever used effects like reverb or chorus on your instrument, or do you only play it naturally?
No, I don't really do all those like effects and stuff.
Is the number, so I've looked at a saxophone, my brother plays a saxophone actually, and I just look at the thing, there's like 50 million like different like valves and things.
Yeah.
Like, was that an issue? So I know that you first started with the clarinet, so let's start with the clarinet. Was that the learning curve of the clarinet, to have to memorize where to press down to get the right note, or was it the reed? Like, what was the most difficult thing?
The most difficult thing, the fingerings, you get used to them really easily. Like if you just practice them, like you'll get used to it. Getting the right sound is pretty hard with both instruments, I guess. Like when you start playing it, like it'll sound like a saxophone or a clarinet, but then you have to like work pretty hard to get it to sound like especially good.
Is that so? The embouchure, which is like the way you use your mouth, does that help it sound better, or is it the way you blow air into the instrument? Like, how does that work?
Well, it's how you hold it, how you stand, how you sit, how you use your mouth. Like you have to put it like at a certain way, and then how well you put your reed on, how well you're tuned, and also like blowing warm air gives like a different sound than just blowing. Like it's a much richer tone and stuff like that.
So, you said the way it's tuned. How does an instrument like that go out of tune? Like, how does that work?
Well, I can show you. I have my saxophone over there. I can show you.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so this is my soprano right here. And when you tune up, you put the mouthpiece on, but then like if the mouthpiece is like all the way up here, it's gonna be way flat. and if you push it all the way in, it's gonna be really sharp. So then like you keep it like around there.
Do you mind playing us something just for the audience?
My reed is dry, and I gotta spit out my gum.
Okay.
It's kind of dry right now. So what do they want to play? What do you want? What do they want me to play?
So there's something simple, something quick and simple.
That was, my reed was very dry, so.
Hey, it sounds great. And I want to transition here. So, where have you performed with your saxophone?
I performed a lot in school.
Was this the instrument that you used at Carnegie Hall?
No.
So did you play the piano at Carnegie Hall, or?
Yeah, I played the piano for like someone. I played the saxophone things though, like the district bands and stuff.
So with Carnegie Hall, we were talking about this before you came on. You said you did not have a great time. So I've been to Carnegie Hall. I've watched a show called Candide. My uncle brought me there. And the first thing that I noticed when I walk into Carnegie Hall is like the seating is like almost vertical. That it's so steep up there. So I was terrified of like falling off and like going off the balcony. When you're looking there and looking at the audience and like the 3 rows of the mezzanine and the balconies and everything, is that like very nerve-wracking, or did you just sort of get used to it over like the whole concert?
I wasn't facing that way, so I didn't really try to look that way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's a very, very old place.
Yeah.
So.
Why didn't you like your experience there?
Well, here's the thing. They kind of, when we got there, we went through like some little back entrance up like an elevator, and then like they kind of shut us in like a tiny room where it was like overcrowded and stuff.
Yeah.
And then everybody just sat there because everybody was scared. And then you didn't know what to do, so.
So the performance was fine.
The performance was fine, yeah. But
okay,
it was.
So it's just the experience of. Okay, yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't. The performance was good, but everything leading up was not good.
So you played the piano there. What music did you play? Did you play like how many? I don't want to say songs. I don't really think you play songs. Or like how many pieces of music did you play?
Well, I only played one piece. When I was choosing it, I remember that my teacher was like, there wasn't very much time before like I had to like audition and stuff, so like I couldn't choose something hard because I couldn't like learn it. Like she wanted me to do like Claire de Lune, and then I was like, I can't do that because it's like 3 weeks or something.
Right.
It's like said, okay, I'll have you do this like 30s jazz song, and then I did it, and they were like, oh, okay.
Did the crowd go wild?
I don't think you're supposed to do that in Carnegie Hall. Like, you're just supposed to clap.
I know. Like, did they clap? Then did like?
Yeah.
How are you selected to play at Carnegie Hall? Did you have to register? Like, is there a site that you can do? Like, I want to play at Carnegie Hall. Like, how does that work?
Well, my teacher registered me for something, like a competition there. And, like, basically you would get, like, first, second, or third place, like, and so they would give you, like, first, second, or third place. And I played in front of, like, some judge, and then he said, oh, okay, and then he, like, gave the results to my, like, teacher, and then my teacher said, oh, you got first place, and I was like, I was pretty surprised because, the song I was playing wasn't that hard, but I guess I played it all right, but I don't know. If you get, like, first place, you go to, like, Carnegie Hall. If you get second place, I think you still go, and if you get third place, you play in Boston.
Oh, at the symphony orchestra thing. That is a beautiful building, by the way. Great acoustics. But all right. So who else played with you? Were you the only one? Were like how many people else played?
There were a lot of people that played. I mean, I played by myself. I did a solo, but like there were a lot of people, but I don't think any of them were from like. There were a lot of Canadians.
Huh.
They were from, like Vancouver, and like they flew all the way to like New York. I don't think anybody else was from the place that I was going to or going from.
Hmm. Were they all like? Were the other people adults? Were they your age? How was the age range?
Well, I was pretty much like the youngest one, I guess. There were a lot of old kids at the time. Like, they were like 17, 18-year-olds there.
Is there anything that happened at Carnegie Hall that you didn't prepare for and sort of caught you off guard? Did it all go smoothly? How did it like?
Well, hold on. Okay. I mean, I knew my song. It was kind of like tricky that like I had to like walk through all those places to like get to like the stage, and there was like that room that I got locked up in, which is not what I was expecting.
So your song went well. You just didn't like the method of which you got to the stage. Would you, if you got the opportunity to, would you ever go back to Carnegie Hall and play it again?
Maybe depends on what song.
Have you ever seen a show there? No, you just played there once.
Yeah.
And I know that, as far as my knowledge goes, the only other person who has played at Carnegie Hall from Dover Sherborn is Gabe Gatt and his brother. Which is pretty unique because, I mean, Carnegie Hall is an amazing building. It's a great honor to play there. Every like classical musician or like one of those plays, like I don't know, not classical play, but you know what I'm talking about. They dream of going to Carnegie Hall and performing on that because it's such a prestigious performance place, and it's like it's the performance place. Like you don't go anywhere else. It's Carnegie Hall. Were you when going there? Were like the nerves starting to stack up? Like, okay, this is really nerve wracking. Just gotta get the performance over with. Like, would you have like pre-show stage fright? I get that all the time, even though I'm not performing at Carnegie Hall. But is that you ever feel nervous or anything?
Well, the more you perform, the more you get used to it. At the time, yeah, a little. Most like when I was like right about to perform, not like actually like 3 hours before. It was mostly like right before I was performing.
Yeah, because when I am about to do this show, even though it's on the video thing and I can just edit it out if I want to, but not really. I always get really nervous because I'm like, what if I mess up in my intro or mess up with something? And when I perform music live at DS, I always got ridiculously nervous before it happened, especially at the talent shows. So if I ever perform at Carnegie Hall, I just like faint. I just like, you know what, I'm out. I can't do this. I just like, yeah. And it's interesting to know that you weren't incredibly terrified. Like, as you said, like 3 hours before, you're a little nervous, but if you've performed for a while, you get the feeling. So I'm pretty surprised that you weren't super nervous. I would have like fainted on stage. How does the transitions go? So like, were you first? Were you in the middle? Were you last? And how did they transition the person off before you and you?
Well, I was like near the end, I think. Basically what they would do is just that they would walk you through like a doorway and you'd just be on the stage, and then when you're done, you would just walk through the other side.
Well, if I ever go to Carnegie Hall, I hope to see you perform there. If not, I hope that I'm not performing. Um, But this was a great interview. This is a very unique thing to talk about because I've never had a guest on that has ever been like performed at Carnegie Hall. And it's a very unique and very awesome thing. That's a bad word, but awesome thing to like tell someone like I performed at Carnegie Hall and like, oh my gosh, you performed at Carnegie Hall. But this is a great interview. Thank you for coming on with the sax and with the Carnegie Hall performance. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was Connor Long. As you heard, he performed at Carnegie Hall. I think I said that word about 50 times already. And he's an amazing saxophonist, great pianist, performed at a lot of concerts. He was in my band in middle school. We did Piano Man. He did the harmonica part because I had to keep my two hands. I didn't have one of those harmonica holder things, so he volunteered to do that. And he did a bunch of things. He's a great person, great friend, and a great performer. But we have our second guest on the show. So my second guest is an amazing baseball player, first sports guest. I have been crushed by him many, many times as I played baseball. He's also the winner of the Daybreak guest brackets. If you saw those, they were on my story. So please welcome the great, the one, the only, Owen Comiskey.
What's up?
Hey, Owen.
Oh, you can do this. How are you doing?
I'm good. You? How are you since you were? Oh my gosh. How are you since you were last on the show?
I'm pretty good.
Are you okay? Are you not sick? Is your family not sick? Everything good?
Yeah, no one that I know closely is sick, so that's good.
Yeah. All right. So, for you, school ends in a couple days. For DS, I know it ends Wednesday. For us, it ends Thursday, but our last classes are on Tuesday. So I have a game. That's a new game. They'll be playing with you after this interview is over that has to do with the end of school. So if you're watching, please watch out for that. Again, the audience, there's a question feature. So if you have questions, the comments are off. So please put them in the questions and I can ask my good friend here. All right. So we're here to talk about baseball. And I've played baseball in the past. I was crushed by your team many, 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 many times. Partially because I just can't hit a ball. I just can't. I'm terrible at that. So what drew you to baseball in the first place?
Well, my dad played baseball as a kid, and he kind of wanted me to play. So, when I was, really little, he started, practicing outside with me, and that's how I, kind of started to play.
Yeah, and your dad coaches your team, right?
Yeah.
What's that experience like? Because when I played baseball, I didn't know the people who coached me. I didn't really like them either, but I didn't know them that well. I didn't have a good connection with them. But your dad is the coach of your team, so what is that? What is the experience like from being just your son in the house and then on being a field and your coach and your dad is coaching you to do things? How does that work?
Well, honestly, I think that my dad coaching me kind of made me do better because I wouldn't want to have a horrible game when he was watching.
Right.
Sometimes before he started, because he didn't he started coaching me when I was in first grade, but then he stopped because my parents got divorced and he didn't want to he couldn't deal with everything at once.
Right. Yeah.
So, but then when he came back to coach in sixth grade or something, I was okay, I can't mess up because my dad's watching. So,
how old were you? So you said you were very little, but do you remember how old you were when you started learning baseball?
I think I was maybe in kindergarten. Yeah, I definitely played in kindergarten. I don't know if I started before that.
Did you start with?
I played kindergarten t-ball.
Oh, okay. Did you ever? So I've been in your house and your backyard's pretty big. So did you ever practice running around bases or something? Or how did you practice?
Yeah, that's usually what I do. When I started playing, that was usually how I could throw a ball up to myself and hit it with a bat and because like I probably won't lose the ball because I can't really hit it as far as my backyard goes.
Yeah.
But in terms of like practicing with bases and like stuff, a little bit. I didn't do it too much though.
Yeah, and I know from experience of trying to outrun you that I can't, because you are ridiculously fast. I thought I was fast. My mile time is 6 minutes and 45 seconds, which I think is fast. But you're like 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
you just if you go, you're just going, and if you're like if 1, 2, 3, 4 done, and I'm like, what the hell happened? He just started. Like it's ridiculously quickly, and you did like in eighth grade we had like a field day, but the field day was like a track thing, and you did like the mile and you crushed everyone.
Oh yeah, I remember I got like fourth or something. That I was honestly very surprised. I didn't think I would do so. I didn't think I would do better than. I didn't think I'd get that well, but yeah.
What is your mile time?
Well, at track in freshman year, I got a 5:18 in indoor track.
Oh my gosh! I thought I was fast. How do you move that quickly? Your endurance must be amazing to go.
Yeah, just like mainly endurance.
Like I can go consistently for I don't have to walk and I can make it 6 minutes and 45 seconds. But after I'm done, I can barely walk. I just like if I step off the elliptical, I just like my legs just start basically jelly. I'm like, how do you run 5 minutes and 18 seconds? I don't understand how that's possible.
Well, it like at indoor track, we got like a lot of training, like a lot of training. I think it was like every day except for Saturday and Sunday. So that was good. And yeah, I guess I had just done cross country like in the fall. So I was like cross country you get like requires a lot more endurance cuz like it's 3 miles instead of 1. So like my endurance is pretty good going into the season, so
Would you say that your speed has helped you with baseball? Because baseball, you have to steal base. We don't have to, but it's good to steal bases and get around things quickly and get points. So, would you say that your speed has helped you, or is it just is it this? Would it be the same if you weren't as fast?
yeah, I'd say it definitely has helped me, especially like I can like remember like numerous times where like I was at bat and like I hit a ground ball, but like I was able to make it to first base before like the throw could come in because like I beat out the throw. So.
Right. Wow.
Well, not I didn't like beat up like the actual speed of the throw, but like since I got like a head start. So.
Well, yeah. When I played baseball, I actually, if you remember, I didn't hit a single ball because I don't know how. I knew how to hit them, I just couldn't hit them. I was just good at catching them or making them hit me in the chest, which also very much hurt. But how many games of baseball have you? If you can't remember, that's fine. But how many games of baseball have you done in total?
Okay, I probably can't remember an exact number, but we probably have like 12 last year and the year before. So like 24, and then maybe like 10. I probably like. So kindergarten, I don't remember kindergarten, but first grade through fifth through sixth grade, which is we had 10 probably about each year. So like that's 60, and then uh 60 plus 48, probably like around 108 games.
I think in my total, I played like 15 games. I only played for one season, and I hated it.
Oh yeah,
And
then also like in like 7th grade and 8th grade or 8th grade like the teams where there wasn't a lot of kids playing, so but there still was 2 teams, so I like subbed in for some other games for a different team. Yeah.
And so I played your team before, and who else is Hunter Richards on your team?
Well, he used to play, but he stopped playing.
Oh, that sucks. I think either I was going to try and get him to come on the show, or I did, and he just said no. But yeah, that'd be a good conversation. But Are you so? I've played you before. I don't know your personality with the game. Are you super competitive when you play, or are you sort of more chilled out and relaxed?
Well, um, a lot of times, I remember especially when I was like younger, I used to get like really mad because like the umpires were like horrible. Like they were always horrible to everyone, but like because they always called like everything a strike, even if it wasn't. But now after like they've gotten better, like sometimes I can like now just accept that like maybe the pitchers or the team could just be better than our team, and yeah. Or like sometimes like in seventh grade they had like they were having like kids like drive up to our games because like there was like junior varsity and varsity games that had just ended for the Natick team,
Right.
and like
Um,
literally had like their best players drive up, and like they were like 17 and 18 years old, so I was kind of mad about that. They were way
so,
older, so it was unfair, but yeah.
so we have some questions from the guests. Sorry, not from the guests, from the audience. What position do you play, and what positions don't you play?
Well, I love playing pitcher. um I play center field. I played outfield a lot because like a lot of time, like usually center field because like I'm pretty fast, so I can just run to get the ball. And I don't really like playing catcher. I don't really like playing first base. Yeah.
Uh, did your dad teach you all the skills you need to know, or did you go to a special? Because I went to a like a not a camp, but like a training place in Ashland or something like that. Uh, did you go to a special place to learn, or did your dad teach you everything?
Well, I think in terms of like how to play the game and the fundamentals, my dad probably taught me everything. But like the knowledge, uh I definitely remember one time in like extended day in Pine Hill, like I didn't think a foul ball was a strike, but like somebody told me it was.
Oh yeah.
So like he didn't teach me like everything, but he taught me like most of what I know.
Is there anything that he taught you that after the fact that you knew the things of baseball, is there anything he taught you that your increased your chance to get points on the board, or anything that helped you get better at the sport after you've learned the things already?
Well, I'd say so because like I have this bad habit of like when I'm like in my stance for batting, like I had this bad habit of putting like my right elbow down
Hmm.
instead like down like it wasn't up, and it's kind of hard to visualize, but he basically told me like to put it up more, and like that would increase my power a lot when I'm hitting, and it
Hmm.
did, so that was good.
Yeah, I had this bad habit of chucking my bat everywhere because I thought I hit it. And every single time I hit the ball, I'm like, and I let it go and it went flying against the fence, and it went into the pitcher's but I'm like, oh crap! Like pick up the bat and just get it in place. And you only throw the bat if you hit it. But I kept doing that. That was just a habit that I had. I also did this stupid thing where I didn't know. Well, I knew, but I knew differently. I guess I didn't know. I didn't know what strike number we were on. I thought when someone got a strike, I thought we were on strike three, but we were only on strike two. So I started walking off the field, but it wasn't done yet. And so like, what are you doing? Get back to the base! And people were starting to run towards my base. So I had to like bolt to my base because I walked off the base. That was probably my most embarrassing game.
I've had that happen to me before as pitcher, but like I thought I struck somebody out because like I thought I threw three strikes, but it was actually only two.
Oh.
Yeah.
The good thing about that is that you weren't covering the base, so then no one can actually run to the pitcher's mitt and say, I got the base. I had
Yeah.
to like. Um, did you play any other sports before you did baseball, or while you're playing baseball?
Um. Well, I remember in like first and second grade, I played soccer. Uh, I did karate for the whole time I've been playing. I did basketball for like 1 year. I didn't really like that though. And I liked soccer. It was fun to play, just that my parents got divorced, so like the schedule that I was with my dad didn't really line up correctly. So I couldn't play that. And yeah, I don't think I played any other sports. I mean, now I'm doing running, but like in the fall and winter, but like not before.
So you haven't ever done football or something like that?
I always wanted to play, but my mom said it was too dangerous. Yeah.
My mom says the same thing. I know my mom's watching, and I'm really getting earful, but yeah, my mom said the same. My brother wanted to do football, but my mom's like, no, you're not. So yeah, but yeah, I've heard that before. Do you want a career in baseball? If the MLB came to you and said, "Hey, Owen, we want you to play for the MLB," would you say yes? Would you say no?
Well, I would say yes. I would definitely say yes, but I wouldn't say that's my goal like right now, like to be in the MLB, because like I know like it lets down a lot of people because like not everyone makes it.
Right. Yeah.
But like if they said to me, yeah, then I would definitely.
Do you have a different goal in mind that you want to do? Something you're striving for in school? Because I know that in school they give you electives, and those electives you can put on your like application for college, and then you can say, I want to take this class, and here's why. What do you want to go into?
I mean, I don't really know yet, I guess.
Well, you've got 4 years to figure it out, so it's not a bad thing. You're only a freshman.
Yeah.
About to be a sophomore.
Yeah.
3 days. And in the last 3 minutes, do you have any advice for people who are playing baseball but don't really know what the secret is to being a good baseball player?
Well, for fielding, it just takes practice, and I guess for hitting, try to work on hand-eye coordination, and that's probably the main thing in hitting.
And we have 2 more questions. This will be the last question. These are from the audience. So I mentioned in the last interview with Connor that you play the trombone. What do you do more, playing baseball or playing the trombone?
Well, now I probably play the trombone more.
Yeah.
Because I have jazz band every day, basically every day, in high school. But like, I'd say like before jazz band, I had like the everyday thing in high school when we were just having it every Friday. I have to say probably baseball.
Do you do jazz band over like a conference?
We don't like play anymore. We just submit these like clips.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we actually did the same thing.
Yeah.
And our last question from the audience: who is your favorite MLB player?
Okay. I'd say probably right now, I'd say like probably Mookie Betts, because I know he got traded, but
yeah,
I still like him. And then all time, I don't know, probably David Ortiz, just because he brought like Boston the first title in 86 years. So
great answers to a great question from our audience members. So again, if you have any other questions, unfortunately we're out of time for the interview, but there's a question feature. It's like a question mark with like 2 cards, and that's where you can ask questions. So yeah, thank you for the interview, but we're not done with you yet because we have a game for you. So this game is a new game that I came up with yesterday. And it's called School's Out. Unfortunately, I don't have a card. I made a card. I just forgot to take a screenshot, so I don't have it in my library here that I can share with. Unless I forgot. No, I do not. But it is a new game. It's called School's Out. And because you're going out of school in 3 days, I'm going out in 2 days, but in Friday. So it's basically, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about school. It's not going to be like a test, but it's just going to be like fun questions. So,
okay.
Who was your favorite teacher of all time?
Ooh, of all time. Dang. Okay. I'd say probably Miss Korea in 5th grade, but she's now Miss Santiano because she got married.
Yes.
But I'd say probably because I was having like a tough time in 4th grade, like getting everything done, and then like she really helped me get better.
That's good.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite teacher for this year, for your freshman year?
Dang. Okay. Well, Mr. Amber is really cool, but I don't actually like the subject. I don't really like math. I think I like all my teachers. I really like all my teachers, so I don't really have one.
I have the same way. This is the first year of my life where I've liked all of my teachers. So there's been like 1 or 2 teachers I didn't like. 8th grade, Mr. McIntosh. 7th grade,
Yeah.
my English teacher. 6th grade, my math and English teacher. I just don't like English teachers altogether, but I actually like my English teacher this year. What was your favorite class? What's your favorite subject?
Well, aside from like PE, which this year actually wasn't that fun,
Oh,
definitely science. Yeah. It used to be like science and social studies, but like I feel like science has definitely gotten better. Well, social studies kind of declined a bit, so yeah.
what are you learning this? You're learning World History 1?
Yeah, World History 1, which is cool, but I like biology more.
Huh. Yeah, I learned, well, our curriculum is off, so I'm never going to learn World History 1, but I learned World History 2 this year, and I'm going to U.S. History next year, so I'm going to relearn that, so I don't know. But what was the funniest moment that you can remember from school?
This year?
Let's do this. Let's do all time, and then we'll do this here.
Oh my god. Okay, the funniest moment. There's a lot. I'd say probably I'd say probably when I was at lunch, we were all eating outside, and I think like there was a gym class going on, and Connor and like this other kid and Connor and this other kid were racing each other, and like just mid race, Connor just gave up in the race. And then the people who I was sitting with, we're all good friends with Connor, so it's a joke. But like,
yeah,
we were just like saying stuff. It was kind of funny.
But
all time, I don't know. There's too much stuff, so I don't really know.
My funniest, I thought you were gonna say when I lost my voice because I was ridiculed for that.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so I lost my voice a lot of times actually. But one time I lost my voice and it became really ridiculously high pitched. So it sounded like Elmo when I talk, so I was called Elmo for like the entire grade. But
didn't like Alex Fry make that up?
I can't remember. He might have. It was a long time ago actually. But my favorite moment of you, because we were in the same math class in 7th grade, Miss Bergeron, and you always played games on your computer in class, and it's just the funniest moment was because she was like saying, "This is how the Pythagorean theorem works," and in the background you're like, "Let's go!" And you scream whenever you won something, and she took the computer like 15 times in class. I'm like, "What is she doing?"
Yeah. I did not try it all in that class,
no,
but I still got a B-. I'm very surprised.
But that's probably my funniest memory. But okay, so what are you looking forward to for your sophomore year?
Probably just. I'm definitely looking forward to doing cross country again. Well, because I'm very excited to do that because, like, I got onto like the varsity team last year, but I didn't like actually get to run in like the state like championship because it's top 10 make varsity, but only the top 7 can run. But like this year, I can probably get top 7 because like a lot of the people who were good last year are now like seniors and they left. So
nice.
yeah.
And what will you miss from this year?
Probably I'd say definitely math class because I know I really don't like algebra, and going into next year we have to do it the hardest year of algebra in high school, algebra 2. So I'm definitely not excited for that.
Well, yeah, you learned geometry, right?
Yeah, we did geometry.
It's actually a fun class. That I don't like algebra. I like geometry though. I like finding angles and things. It's fun.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
can I get a charger really quick? Because my phone's pretty low.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the game's over, so we're out of time. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Go get the charger.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So that's our show today. We had 2 great guests both from the state of Massachusetts. That will change tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. Next show. Next show, we have our first guests from out of state. We have Emma Thompson from Troy, New York. And we have Alexander Duval, awesome name, from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So we have no Massachusetts guests next week. But this was a great interviewing day. We had 2 great guests, Owen and Carr, 2 of my oldest friends. We had talked about Carnegie Hall, and someone actually watch this back and count how many times I said Carnegie Hall. It's going to be like 100 times. But Carnegie Hall and Saxophone with Owen Comiskey. We talked a little bit about trombone, school, and his baseball experience. So if you've watched the whole show, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you've joined in during Owen's interview, thank you for tuning in. I know it's ridiculously early in the morning. I am still tired if you saw me yawning. It is super early. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all so much for coming on the show. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. This will be posted there as usual, and probably some in the next, 20 minutes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time at Daybreak. Bye, everybody.